because you created enmity with that part of consciousness within yourself. That's where we gather all these fragments into ourselves. If you had hateful relationship with someone in your close circle, and they represent the archetype for you, eventually when they depart from this physical plane, that hate stays within you, because that's the consciousness that you've taken from them because you resented that, but it's still a part of you and you didn't resolve anything with it. You didn't resolve that relationship within yourself. And so that part keeps on living within your own consciousness, feeding off your own negative emotions, feeding off your own thoughts and ideas about that past relationship, even though the body is no longer there, but the relationship with that consciousness is still going on, and it's living. This is the occult and the occult. It's like you are thinking, oh, now if I'm thinking about spirits and entities, oh, now I hit the jackpot. I know all about the occult. It must be spirits. It must be black magic. But the actual truth is that it's still within you. And these are the fragments of your own consciousness and of their consciousness, which are still, you've taken those fragments of their consciousness and assimilated it within your own conscious space. And now you make them alive in your own space. Everything is unresolved because you want to just shun this aspect of self, or you want to hide away, you want to escape from it. But it hunts you even more. Because it hunts you because it wants to be dissolved, because it cannot live without you, nor it can live with you. You give it energy, because without you feeding it emotionally and mentally, it's nothing. It's just a dead consciousness. It's kind of like just it exhausts its charge and is dissolved in the space of reality. But the more you feed it with hate, that's why it hunts you, and it makes you feel as if, oh, there's a problem, oh, there's a hate, oh, there's some story going on. Because it needs to attack you, it needs to feed. The matrix forces you, it constantly slaps you. Hey, look at me, because it needs your consciousness, it needs your look, it needs your stare, it needs your attention. Because wherever your attention goes, your consciousness goes and your energy is lost. It has to slap you each time. As long as it is alive, it will keep on slapping you here, there, here. Hey, look at me, look at me, look at me. And until you dissolve it, because when you dissolve it, there's nothing to slap you. Because nothing matters, because there's nothing inside you that can even react. People can even resemble your parents outwardly, but you will not react. They will not invoke anything within you anymore. But as long as this piece is there and it's imprinted in your consciousness, this piece has a link through which it is alive continuously. Even if this piece represents your parents, these parents are no longer there, let's say, they're not alive anymore. The consciousness of them is living because the memory is living, the story is living, an unresolved situation. These pieces of consciousness will represent this sort of channels through which you drain yourself and you decay and you die. They will represent these holes in your wholesome being. And so through these holes, there will be leakage of energy and you will always feel unwholesome. And when you are unwholesome, you will want to copulate with matrix and reality. How you copulate? Through cravings. It invokes craving. You will crave for attention from matrix. You will want love, you will want attention, you will want friendship, you will want socialization, you will want romance, because this is called vampirism. You will want your ego to be fulfilled because this hole is making you unwholesome. Even if it's a little thing, it's still the thing through which your being is leaking, and now it needs to compensate. How does it compensate? It tries to create a meaning in reality. It tries to again drag you out. It tries to invoke desire to fulfill yourself through the means of the projected reality, through the means of this matrix. What are the means? False love, false career, false success, money, ideas, concepts. I'm this, because these things temporarily give you a sense of wholesomeness through this fake idea of I'm special. And that's how we feed our narcissists. We feed our unwholesome ego, our full of holes, corrupt self, because this corrupt self always drags us out to feel that we are special, that we have a meaning, and that our life is wholesome somehow through the copulation with the matrix. And matrix needs our energy. That's why it will always drag us outwards. And because we feel unwholesome, we create kind of a need to copulate with the reality, projected reality, through our own emotions, because the projected reality is dead without our emotions, without our stories, without our, this sort of inspiration. Inspiration, what is inspiration? We breathe in this spirit into the reality. And when this matrix is feeding off us, either through other people, oh, let's go do something, let's exchange emotions, let's bubble there, and it makes you feel that there is that now you're fulfilled. This is false. You will always lose and waste your energy and drain yourself, because you can only enjoy the world when you are wholesome. But when you're wholesome, you don't need anything. Everything just comes to you and you respond no how. And it's a dispassion, but it's a wise dispassion. It's not that you deny the world. No, you embrace it. It's just, if you need to embrace, you embrace. If you need to deny, you deny. But the wholesomeness is not breached. The wholesomeness is not distorted anyhow. You continue keeping your wholesomeness and cultivating, because nothing in this world can fulfill you, because you're already fulfilled. You're already a full glass. When you are half glass, then you will always have an idea that something will fulfill you. The reading, the story, the fairy tale, the illusion, emotional love, romanticism, career, anything. And yes, you can enjoy it all, but as long as you remember that you're already wholesome, and not only remember, you perceive yourself as a wholesome, and you always can bring yourself back, even if you're a little bit got carried away for a moment. You can bring yourself back, then you can continue cultivating yourself. That's called self-cultivation. There's no other way to cultivate self. And there's no other way to, liberate yourself, because these holes will always give you a meaning. Okay, if I don't get love, I'm throwing myself into career. If I don't get career, I'm going to study. If I don't get to study, I am going into sweets. If I don't go into sweets, I watch YouTube video. All these things, they direct your consciousness into something. It's all entertainment, because they give you temporarily a meaning which does not exist, because there is no meaning for a wholesome being, because wholesome being is self-sufficient in themselves. The meaning exists. The whole idea of life is meaningful or has a meaning exists only for corrupt beings, for corrupt egos, for egos which have holes inside. So then for them, they need to somehow, they cannot just be. They have to be with a purpose. Oh, I'm going to salvation. I'm going to resolution. I'm going to know more. There's nothing to know. And there's nothing not to know. But of course, to understand what I'm saying, you need to have a maturity level and also an ability to actually already recognize the delusion and illusion within the self. And the delusion is born from these holes and these impressions, because these impressions, they need energy. If they cannot get this energy through conflict, for example, you're not living around or with these people who instigate conflict. So what happens then? They will create what? Craving, because there is a need. There is need for energy. They cannot get energy through conflict. They cannot get energy through throwing you into emotional drama and romantic drama or any kind of drama. Okay, sweets. Or other means, entertainment. If you do anything because you're feeling anxious, restless, and unfulfilled, that's a craving. That's a craving showing the pain, the anxiety of that peace, because that peace wants energy, that's all. When you want something, it means that traumatic piece of you needs the conscious fulfillment, and it will find it by all means, unless you understand that it cannot overpower you, it cannot get better of you, and you not only controlling it, but you are realizing that it's not you, and you dissolve it. You don't no longer give it energy, neither through dramas, nor through the self-pity parties, not through any kind of sweet parties, not through any kind of things. There's nothing wrong in having sweet once in a while. The problem is when you feel restless. If you have sweet because you're content, that's okay. But if you have sweet because of compulsion and you cannot do now unless you fulfill that thing, it means you have trauma. If you want sweet or alcohol or drug or anything, just a kick, it means there is hole, there's emptiness there, and that emptiness can grow from this into a big black hole and suck your entire being, your entire youth, your entire everything. And that's it.